Good day everyone, I'm Rabaga Tebapelo. Today I present my final project which I designed. I call this project Automatic Water Refilling for Pets. Now this is the poster of the project. Now the problem that motivated me to design this project is that pets are dying in my community because of dehydration. So this is the description of the project. Now for this project to refill the container of a pet, there are two requirements that needs to be met. The first one, the ultrasonic sensor has to determine that the water level inside the container of a pet is greater than 14 centimeters, and the PIR sensor has to detect the motion of a pet. Now here, this is the block diagram of the project. On the inputs, we have the PIR sensor, we have the water flow sensor, we have the ultrasonic sensor. I used the Arduino Uno microcontroller that I supply with 5 volts. I have here the ESP Wi-Fi module that I use to update the data collected by the sensors to ThingSpeak Cloud Server. Now with ThingSpeak Cloud Server, as long as this data is updated, you can watch the data from anywhere as long as you have a smart device and internet connection. I used the LCD here. I have the DC water pump that is going to pump the water from the main tank to refill the container of a pet. I use a 5-volt relay module to switch this DC water pump on with the help of a 9 volts battery. Now this is the schematic of the project, how the project is connected, and the parts circled in red are the parts of my own design. So we have here the ESP Wi-Fi module, we have here the relay module, we have the battery with the water pump, we have the water flow meter, and lastly the PIR sensor. Now this is the printed circuit board of the project. This is a single-sided layer PCB, its top layer, and this is the flow diagram of the project. So I have here two conditions that I'm going to test: if the water is greater or equal to 14 centimeters, and if the PIR sensor detects the motion of a pet, then the water will be pumped from the main tank to refill that container of a pet. And here we have the screen of the cloud server. Now this is the data that I updated previously when I was testing the project. So field 1, we have the volume of the water. Field 2, we have the distance of the water inside the container of a pet. And lastly, field 3, we have the rate of the water. And we have here the construction of the project, the inner part of the project. The different components can be seen here connected to the Arduino Uno and the breadboard. So this is the water flow meter that is going to determine the rate and the volume of the water that is passing through from the main tank to refill the container of a pet. Now let's get to the operation of the project. Okay, now this is the page of the ThingSpeak Cloud Server. It can be seen here the distance of the water that was updated. It was at 15 centimeters. It can be seen here. It was at 15 centimeters now. It means this project is ready to refill the container of a pet because the distance of the water is greater than 14. Now, as long as the PIR sensor detects the motion, the water will be pumped from the main tank. Now here, it can be seen because there's no water that has passed on the flow meter at this point. We still have the volume as 0 and we still have the rate as 0. Now the project is ready. We will just have to make the PIR, make a motion at the PIR, and as soon as the PIR detects the motion of a pet, the water will be drawn. It can be seen here. The water is being pumped from the main tank to refill the container of a pet. Okay, now at this side we have the main, that's the main tank here. This is the main tank, and we have here the LCD screen. We have the LCD screen here. It can be seen the distance of the water is 11 centimeters now, and the rate of the water was 20.13, and the volume is gonna show. And when we come on this side here, it can be seen this water will stop just in no time. These are just the droplets that was on the pipes. Okay, these are just the droplets that was on the pipes. Now it has to stop just now. okay? And now here the rate is 0 because there's no water that is passing, and there is 0.80 liters that was pumped from the main tank. And okay, the distance went to 10. That means there's enough water inside the container of a PET. Now it can be seen here, there's no water that is being drawn at this point. And now coming to check here on the ThinkSpeak Cloud server. Oh, before you come to the ThinkSpeak Cloud server, it can be seen here now, since the distance of the water is no longer greater than 14 centimeters, even if the PIR detects the motion of a PET, even if the motion is detected, there will be no longer water that is pumped from the main tank because the distance is not greater than 14 centimeters. Okay, now it can be seen here that the distance of the water is 10 centimeters, the rate is 0 because there's no water that is being drawn, and the volume is 0.80. Now we will check if that data corresponds to the one on the cloud server. Okay, 0.8, that's the volume, and the distance of the water inside the container of a PET is at 10 centimeters. Okay, it corresponds with the one on the LCD. It's clear. And now for this one, this is what the rate of the water was when the water was drawn. It was 33.6. But now, since the water is no longer drawn, it went back to 0 because there's no water that is being drawn at this stage. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching.